The time has come for Monday, July 15th, 2019, regular city council meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsom.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Present.
Alderman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Florian.
Present.
Alderman Taylor.
Present.
Alderman Bolton.
Present.
Alderman Seager.
Present.
Alderman Moiseo. Here. Alderman Kirkwood.
Present. All right. To lead us in invocation will be Pastor Seth Hawkinson of Emmanuel Evangelical Lutheran Church, located at 1318 North Frolic Avenue, Waukegan, Illinois. Immediately following that, we have a double duty tonight. Will be leading us in the pledge. All rise, please.
And we pray. Heavenly Father, creator and giver of all things, we thank you for the countless blessings that have come to us from your gracious hand. Tonight we thank you for the gift of government, through which you provide stability as well as prosperity to the cities of our country. We pray especially for the city of Waukegan, its people, and its leaders. Bless the mayor, Lord. Bless him with wisdom to govern wisely and with humbleness to govern effectively. Remind him always of the immense privilege that we have to serve another human being, and how much more so when it is an entire city of people. Bless our aldermen and women. Give to them a spirit of unity, not meaning that they should all think alike on every issue, but rather that they realize they are on the same team, and so diligently work with each other and with the mayor for the good of the people which they have been entrusted to serve. And Heavenly Father, this evening I would like to pray not only for the individual lawmakers who are present tonight, would also like to pray for their individual families. For the family is the basic unit of society. And where there are strong families, there are strong cities. And leadership starts with the leaders. So bless them as they lead their families. Bless their marriages where there are marriages. Bless their children and their loved ones. Keep them safe from danger. Protect them from all tragedy and sickness. And give to them an abundance of love, respect, and harmony. Remind them as parents of the sacred duty they have to lead their children, so that their children may in turn lead their future children, and society may thrive as a result of it. And finally, Lord, watch over all the families of our city, for no one family is any more important than another. They are all sacred. And thank you, Lord, for the families that you have given us in our city. Thank you for the many cultures and languages, for the diversity and the delights that come from a wide-ranging demographic. If we were all the same, Lord, life would be boring. But in your wisdom, you have created each one of us exactly how you wanted us to be. May we never forget that we are not our own, that we belong to you. We pray these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item C, Mayor's comments. Because of President Trump's tweets and threats, there has been a lot of recent attention about ICE. I, along with police chief, have frequently given the media the city's position, but I will repeat it here today. The mission for the city of Waukegan is to deliver efficient and effective services that facilitate economic opportunity and enhance the quality of life. And that is regardless of race, creed, sexual orientation, or the immigration status of those who we serve. Last week, I met with consulate generals from Mexico, Honduras, and Belize, and we spoke about why the city of Waukegan joined a U.S. Supreme Court case to oppose the citizenship question on the 2020 census. Because we need everyone to participate in that 2020 census, which will affect how we fulfill the city's mission. Bottom line is, everyone, we want to concentrate on things in the city of Waukegan that will enhance the quality of life for our community. This community that we live in services well over 90,000 people. That's on the census tract. But your police, fire, public works, city services, along with the other city obligations, our actual number is right around 125,000. The census tract is the most important document that we have that helps us get those necessary federal funds, which allows us to give the proper service with the proper personnel. We want to concentrate on the census tract, and we're going to need all of those who live in this community to participate. That's what our mission and our goal and objective is as we move forward. Not tweets or threats. With that being said, I'm going to ask Ms. Susana Figueroa to translate that message in Spanish.
Debido a los tweets y amenazas del presidente Trump, se le ha presentado mucha atención reciente a ICE, mejor conocido como la Ley de Inmigración y Aduanas. Yo, en conjunto con el jefe de policía, hemos dado con frecuencia a los medios la posición de la ciudad, pero lo repetiré aquí hoy. La misión de la ciudad de Waukegan es brindar servicios eficientes y efectivos que faciliten las oportunidades económicas y mejoren la calidad de vida de aquellos a quienes servimos, sin importar la raza, religión, orientación sexual o el estado de migración. La semana pasada me reuní con el Consulado General de México, Honduras y Belice, y hablamos sobre la razón del por qué la ciudad de Waukegan se unió a un caso de la Corte Suprema de los Estados Unidos para oponernos a una pregunta en el censo del 2020 sobre la ciudadanía y del por qué necesitamos que todos los residentes participen en el censo del 2020, ya que afectará el cumplimiento de nuestra misión en la ciudad de Waukegan. También el alcalde mencionó que el departamento de la ciudad de Waukegan, el departamento de bomberos, el departamento de policía, sirven a más de 120 residentes aquí en la ciudad de Waukegan. Si no tenemos los recursos suficientes, no se podrán ofrecer esos servicios con eficiencia. Por eso es muy importante que la ciudadanía, que todos los residentes en Waukegan se hagan contar en el censo del 2020.
Gracias. All right. Upcoming events. It's summertime, and there's big and small events happening every weekend and nearly every night. So I'll remind you to check the calendar on the city's website or hashtag Explore Waukegan. To get a full list, here are just a few upcoming events. Art Walk, Saturday, July 20th, takes an international flavor with Waukegan Main Street Guacamole Festival, including a variety of guacamole, mole, music, and more fun. Also, Art Walk will be millennial connected at Hero Marketplace and several new visual and performing arts at Art Park on South Genesee Street. Help put Waukegan on in the Guinness Book of World Records by joining the Waukegan Public Schools and known to win at Wise Field on Saturday, July the 21st, from 4 to 8 p.m. Sunday, July 21st, from 4 to 8 p.m. for the largest, Doc, you might want to be here on this one, the largest Soul Train line. Anybody know what the Soul Train line is? All right. So we're trying to compete for the Guinness Book of World Records in Waukegan. I think it's a former student who's doing this. So we're trying to break the record. I don't know what the record is. I think it's around 400 and something. So we're asking all those who come out and help us get in the Guinness Book of World Records on Sunday, July 21st, from 4 to 8 p.m. for the largest Soul Train line. All ages are welcome, and they expect to see your best moves, dance moves, that is. Waukegan Night Out Touch a Truck is a fun, free family event that includes all kinds of trucks and heavy equipment for kids to climb on into, and almost every one of them will honk the horn. Join the fun on Friday, August the 2nd, from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Waukegan Municipal Beach. Police chiefs and fire chiefs, are we doing the tug of war again with the other communities? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. But we got to redeem ourselves. Y'all know why. All right. And now I call David Motley up to give a brief wrap-up of Scoop 2019 and a special presentation. All right, we're going to do the special presentation first, and then Scoop 2019. So David, come on up. While David is coming up, I want to send a big shout out, not only to David, Jane, little David, which is Ava, Public Works Police, all of our volunteers, and all those who attended for Scoop 2019. David, why don't you call up?
Yes, sir. So, really quick, we had a very important event not too long ago, the American Independence Day Parade. We had a young lady who was chosen as the Grand Marshal on such things. So we thought we'd also take advantage of this opportunity to welcome Miss Jan Keller to a city council meeting to recognize her for being named the parade Grand Marshal, but most importantly, for a Waukegan Proud Award presented by Mayor Sam Cunningham. So that applause is so valued and necessary, but the mayor and I had a challenge deciding what this Proud Award would say. So we say, the City of Waukegan does hereby present Jan Keller this Waukegan Proud Award in recognition for your dedicated service as a Waukegan ambassador and helping our community dance our way into the future. And if you know why, you know Jan Keller.
Take too much of your time, Mayor Cunningham and all of you, short-cutting family and friends and neighbors. I know we all have one thing in common, one very special thing in common. We all love Waukegan. Yay! So anyway, I just have a few little notes. I wanted to express myself a little bit, and I'm not a speaker. Please forgive me, and I'll try to make this quick because I know you have so much to do, and thank you for listening. So anyway, I have to say this. am humbly grateful for, oh, pardon me, thank you. Thank you. Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm humbly grateful for and thankful for this honor. And certainly I dedicate it to those in the past that have made Waukegan so great. And one being my father-in-law, who was a public works commissioner in the 1920s, before any of us were born. And certainly, too, I have an aunt, Ann Dacre, that was the first Waukegan alderwoman, I should say, in Waukegan, going back a number of years ago. So I've grown up with the love of Waukegan, and there have been friends of mine that have moved out, and sometimes they'll come back for reunion and say, Jan, where do you live now? And I say, where? Waukegan. I wouldn't move if I were pulled to move, but thank you so much for this great honor. And I, as I say, I dedicate it to those special people and all of you for the service you're giving to the city on a daily basis, and the phone calls at midnight sometimes and whatever. I understand that, and God bless you all. I really want to say that. And anyway, I will end up with, I share this, it's a Holy Spirit moment for me. Sometimes when we're ready to go to bed, or sometimes even getting up, this is probably something you've all had without realizing what it was. And this happened to me, and usually I forget them. And then I want to remember, and I think, why didn't I write it down? But this one I wrote down. So in closing, I share with you one of my recent Holy Spirit moments. It's not just what you do in life, but it's the love you share in doing. And that's all I say is just keep showing love, and we'll have a beautiful city for the rest of our lives. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
I don't have the mic. Part of this process is that we take a picture of all the aldermen. If you don't know the Keller family, you're about to find out now who they are. Third of Waukegan's population. Come on up, come on up. There you go. I see. Scoot in. Here he is. This is yours. You hold it.
Okay, how are you? So, Danny, we're all looking right here first. Smiling, big smiles, big color smiles. One more. Thank you.
We're good? We're good?
And one little note to add, I want to say this Danny's got soul moves, Latino moves, Southern U.S. moves, moves from all over the world. So if you need a dance move, talk to Danny. Sir, she might lead the world record. Yes.
Okay, and then we're on to the next one. So I promise this will be the most well-rehearsed extemporaneous presentation you've ever heard at a council meeting. I'd like to, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to speak to all of you on the dais and all of you in the audience a little bit about what happened at Scoop over the past weekend. I have great news to report, but first of all, I'd like to start off by recognizing some of the sponsors that helped make it possible. And I'm going to give all of you on the dais a cheat sheet.
And while he's doing that, I miss one person of saying thank you to, Dave, and that was our fire department.
Oh, they're in here, Mayor.
Oh, I mean, for me, up here,
Okay.
when I was up here, and we had an emergency which they quickly
Sure.
take care of. So, Chief, you and your team, man, thank you very much.
That's for sure.
Can I
So-
get one of the red shirts, though? Yeah, right, bring it up.
So really quick, all of our volunteers and staff, and even the merchants along Genesee Street and beyond, receive this following packet. It's basically a cheat sheet or a summary of all the events that are taking place during the event we know as Scoop. And soon you're going to understand how complex this activity really is. So here's a cheat sheet.
Wow.
Okay, so our main entertainment sponsor was NRG. They made sure that all the entertainment contained in that packet was paid for at their expense. So let's give them a round of applause for that. We had a whole host of Waukegan businesses step in and ensure that they supported the event. They include Carriage Auto, Visual Pack, Trifinity, Ripley Automotive, Kloss Tire and Auto, JR's Wreckers, Illini Hardware, Herman Brothers, Great Lakes Credit Union, La Michoacana Ice Cream, Lake County Hose, Trans Solutions. So you're getting a sense a lot of auto companies are probably interested in this opportunity, right? Adams Auto Body, Ace Radiator, Mike's Muffler, Strang Automotive, Frame Up Wheelworks, Waukegan Harbor, T-Mobile, Oak Street Health, Stereo Plus, Ron's Storage, Deke and Arenas Associates, Glass City, Belvedere Auto Body, Whitmore's, Lee Bumper to Bumper, Greentown Tavern, Jester's, Louis, First Student Bus Company, and Greenwood 76.
Wow.
And of course, we have a very important Carriage Auto Body. They selected and paid for trophies for the event, all of the signature trophies for the event, including Mayor's Choice, and our most prestigious award for Scoop, brought to you by the original Scoopers, and it was the Original Scoopers Award, and that was presented by none other than Jerry Cook, Ron Selesnik, and Bob Pataky, who are the original Scoopers, and they chose one of our friends over there presenting a lowrider vehicle for our first ever Lowriders and Luchadores event.
Lucha who?
So we're going to meet all of them in just a minute, but I wanted to get to that really important business because Carriage Auto Body made it happen. Also, we have partners that include Arenas Luchadores, Viejitos Visoleros, chapter of the Viejitos, of course, the original Scoopers we spoke to, Gospel on the Beach, including Pastor Moten and Christian Faith Fellowship Church. GNS Services provided all of our cleanup, and it was clean as a whistle. I probably wouldn't put that whistle in my mouth, but it was very clean downtown, that's for sure. So we're really happy for their expertise. Service Sanitation provided all of our portable restrooms. AAA Tent Masters put up all of our tents and stages. American Outfitters provided our T-shirts. Advanced Disposal cleaned up our refuse. And of course, internally, our partners include the City of Waukegan's Public Works, the Waukegan Police Department, and of course, Waukegan Fire Department. But let's not forget the Licensing Department, Clerks Department, and also the Finance Department. Are you getting my drift on any of this? This is a complex dance for this whole thing. I also want to give a shout out to Waukegan Main Street, Waukegan Chamber of Commerce, who supported the event, and of course, Waukegan Park District. And this is not why you're here today, but what a convenience that most of their senior staff are seated in the audience. They were also a major partner in making sure that this event was presented not only safely, but most importantly, family-friendly for our entire community to enjoy. So our food vendors were Grub and Go, Trace Flores Funnel Cakes, Wild West Grill, Sauce for a Cause, which they're looking to relocate to Waukegan. They have a food truck, it's pretty amazing. And new to Waukegan, Senor Corn, who does elotes in a cup, and they're pretty fantastic. So that is that. We had Spice Audio did our audio. We had Larry Wimmer, who is a well-known musician, Grammy Award nominee, right here from Waukegan, performed live and kickoff Scoop at our main stage. We had DJ Spontaneous, who's also homegrown talent, traveled the country in support of various DJ efforts. He is directly from Waukegan. We had Trombone Dave and the Lawn Clippings, and they're kind of a Dixieland jazz band, and he's also from Waukegan. And also Rafael Mendez and the Fabulous House Rockers.
That's right.
Did an amazing set on Saturday, and guess what? He's from Waukegan. So, walk proud, right? Talking about Waukegan pride. And last but not least, there was a connection here. Secondhand Soul Band came to us live. They're from Chicago. They're soul, funk. It's pretty awesome, Mayor. You would have dug that concert for sure. But lo and behold, their saxophonist is a Waukegan teacher at Hyde Park teaching our students about musical education, and that's supporting the arts, and that's going full circle right there. So we want to give a shout out to all of that entertainment and let everyone know this is about highlighting Waukegan, because no one, above all, knows more about providing hospitality and having a good time more than the folks in Waukegan, right?
That's right.
And above all, no one knows more about addressing challenges with solutions and making them opportunities more than the folks from Waukegan, right?
Right.
That's for sure. So that being said, I'd like to bring up a couple gentlemen to ensure that we do some good presentations today, and that is one other than Jerry Cook, Bob Pataky, and Ron Selesnik, the original scoopers, who probably have way too many stories than we have time for. But Jerry, if you'd like to say a couple words, your summary of Scoop. He's our car expert, so he knows what he's talking about. Why don't you come up here, gentlemen?
All right.
And Mayor?
So, no singing now. So, we're referred to as Mo, Larry, and Curly. I'll let you guess who's who. We were approached, 6 or 7 years ago to bring Scoop back to Waukegan, because all three of us went to Waukegan High School, and we used to scoop a lot on the bridge downtown Waukegan with our cars. Matter of fact, this guy introduced me to my wife on a blind date, and I've been from scooping, and I've still been married 47 years, but she's not talking to him anymore. We try hard every year. You know, we start planning in January. We get with David's got to put up with us three. We talk about a lot of stuff. This year was another good year. We had some technical issues that we had to resolve, and we're going to work on that to make sure it doesn't happen again. But most of all, we had, in 2 days, like 2,100 cars scooping. We had 250 cars in the car show. And our priorities are the car people, the spectators that come to view it, and of course our sponsors. Because without those three, we don't survive. Yeah. And it was a free car show this year. So we had a lot of people here, and we had the good weather as well. So on that part, I'll let somebody else come up here and talk, because I'll be here all night.
So why don't you guys go out in front? Mayor would like to give you certificates. And then the three of you have to stand up here for a little while longer, too. Oh, sorry, Bob. If everyone in the audience knew how many short jokes I have to endure between these three fellas, I'll point it at that young man in the middle. I know, it's kind of unnerving for me sometimes. So we're very proud of you, because you're willing to spend your time ensuring that this is a quality activity. So Jerry, Bob, and Ron. Let's hear it for them, everybody. So you're getting a sense of history today. We're hearing about history of this community. Walk proud. Learn these lessons and hear them. Yes, sir.
We're not used to this. Usually people throw stuff at
Usually there's a run on tomatoes at the local market for a reason. It's not for salsa, it's to throw at you guys. Yeah, I know. So next, we are also partners with Gospel on the Beach, so I'd like to call up Pastor Willie Moten, and also, is Simeon still here? Simeon Brown, come on up here. No, you're not going, you have to stay here. So these two gentlemen take it upon themselves to plan, with our support, the Gospel on the Beach, which is hugely successful. People come from miles around to enjoy this fabulous event. And Pastor Milton, you have a quick moment to say a quick word about this event.
Well, we're just glad to represent Waukegan and represent the mayor and the city of Waukegan for our gospel event. It turned out really well this year. People just came. It was crowded. It was nice. And they came and experienced the gospel singing, and it was a blessing. And so we just want to thank everybody for sponsoring us and allowing us to be a part of the Scoop event. And we look forward to working with you all. And we just want to say thank everybody for all they've done. And let's keep on making Waukegan proud.
Okay, here's where we go in a different direction, okay? One of my good friends is a soccer coach with me. We work for two different organizations. We have great friendship. We hit off right away, not only for our love of soccer, but also love of this community. And I'd like to call up Ulysses Arenas. He may or may not be a wrestler per se, but he brought Mexican wrestlers live for not necessarily competitive. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but it's not real stuff, okay? It's all real stuff. But it's a great choreographed event. They were wrestling in the ring as one of the events during Scoop, and it was fantastic. It was well received, and it was because of his vision and his dream that we were able to help bring it to you to enjoy at Scoop. So Ulysses Arenas, and it says, the City of Waukegan does hereby present Ulysses Arenas this Waukegan Proud Award in recognition for your assistance in planning the Lowriders and Luchadores event during Scoop 2019. And I'm sorry I told you this was going to be infotainment. So the next round we'd like to really recognize are the folks that helped bring you the lowriders. They were fantastic. They had these, to call them motorcycles really diminishes the word of art because they're art pieces. They're so amazing and so peculiar. I know you folks all now have a newfound spot in your heart for motorcycles. So Mayor, you saw them too, pretty taken back by their majesty and artistic abilities. So we want to call up some friends, our new friends, Tito Mandujano, who's the chapter president of Viejitos Bisleros Car Club.
Just want to say thank you to everyone for the support from Dave and Jane and with the Original Scoopers. It was a great experience and something we're very proud of to be part of, especially here in Waukegan. Just very proud and very happy. So thank you, everybody.
So why don't you go stand over there. We also want to bring up the rest of his team. That's Andres Ventura. Jose Mandujano. Arturo Badillo. And last but certainly not least, another newfound quick friend, fast friend, Manuel Mandujano. Dude, he gets the Purple Heart for Scoop 2019. That really did happen at it. So. Okay, last but certainly not least, I want to call up, just to stand in attention and reverence, Andy Marr from our hospitality and can-do crew is what we're calling them now. Andy Marr, Tracy Adams, Annette and Brian Darden, and one person that was only voluntold, and that's my daughter Ava Motley, who is also the original scooper. So, go on up there. And I'm just going to rifle off quick names and I'll summarize. Of course, we have Police Chief Wayne Wallace, Commander Rob Beach, Sergeant Roush, Mike Hewitt from Waukegan Public Works, Chief Bridges from the Waukegan Fire Department. You've got Fire Marshal Steve Lenzi. You have Katie Dibble, thanks to her for making sure that we could do this all safely. Juan Garcia, Captain Burleson, Gary Z, or Gary Snydersick, saves the day always. He's a magician of electricity. Certainly Mayor Cunningham, and the only person who could probably even attempt to keep up with me is Jane Ferry. And she's back there. What's up, Jane? Thank you so much, right? You guys know.
Yay, Jane.
This is going to be one heck of a picture. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is Jane and I were out early in the morning on Sunday making sure all of our stuff was taken care of, and we stumbled upon Damon and Toe. If anyone of you hang out downtown, Damon and Toe are the guys that clean up the garbage, and they were just doing the patrol and making sure that all of the cones and stanchions and sawhorses were put away in a proper spot. And as we passed by them, we're in a truck and they're in a truck. Damon turns around to me and says, Damon and Toe both turn around to me and they say, "It takes teamwork to make the dream work." And look at it right here. Here they are, presenting you Scoop 2019. All of these folks, give them a round of applause. We're so proud of them.
Thank you. Thank all of you. Yeah, you like a soccer picture.
There they go. Get the pic.
All right, here we go. All the long in there.
There we go.
Good job, Andy. Andy, thank you. Good job. The public works, police, fire, and all that crew in there. I get a shirt.
No, I didn't see him.
Well, actually, it's not a wrestling shirt, because part of the many hats that I wear in the community, I am a soccer coach for the Waukegan High School. I just got appointed as assistant varsity coach. I coach the girls as the JV. Actually, Ava is one of my very good defensive captains on my team, and we are looking forward for the next year that we are going to make Waukegan proud. And as part of the coaching staff, we'd like to present you with your Waukegan Bulldog shirt. And also, if the aldermen would submit their size for the shirts, I will more than happy to get you guys a Waukegan Bulldog soccer shirt for the upcoming year.
Double X. Medium.
Now, I'm going to say this once. I know this is green and gold. For all you Bulldogs in here, it's going to be tough. but it's Waukegan now.
That's right.
Okay, in this order, we're going to have some presentations. And that's presentation is going to be by Waukegan to College, followed by Waukegan Police, followed by Waukegan Fire. And that will conclude Mayor's comments. So Waukegan to College, please take the podium. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Elise Stankers, and I'm the Executive Director with Waukegan to College. Thank you so much for inviting us to be here this evening. We're here to talk about a brand new initiative. It's a pilot program we're doing using our college students as interns to be a product development team developing a texting service for the community around college readiness. So it's an exciting new thing, and we're really grateful to our college interns to be able to provide this service out to the community. And our hope tonight is to let you know about it and ask you to help us promote this service that's going to build college awareness within the community. Thank you.
All right, great, yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fernando Tovar. I graduated class of 2015. I just graduated from Denison University, private liberal arts college, close to Ohio State. I'm going to start off by just reading the mission statement. So, all ears. Okay. So we want the parents of Waukegan to be more engaged in the lives of their children, to value the sense of purpose that education brings, and how it can change the lives of their children and families in the long run. Empower and help our community through sharing our experience, help improve Waukegan's academic reputation, inform parents so it helps create more opportunities for students to dream of furthering their education beyond high school. So I'll let that sink in for a little bit, and besides that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the structure of like this little mini internship we're doing, and the service we're going to be bringing to Waukegan starting July 24th, so next week, hopefully. So we started 4 weeks ago with the CREATE service, like Elise mentioned. CREATE stands for College Readiness Texting Service. A little bit of the structure. My name is Fernando Tovar, as I mentioned. I'm the project lead manager for this. We have 3 teams. We have a content team, a marketing team, and a technology team. Unfortunately, and actually not unfortunately, fortunately, the marketing team is right now at the field house tabling right now and trying to get parents to sign up for our service. A little bit of data operations is that I work a project timeline, so I maneuver and make sure that everyone is up to task. I also am very much in contact with our AbbVie advisors. We have 4 volunteers from AbbVie who all help us out with their various roles, including mine, Beatrice Munoz. She helps me a lot with like project timeline, and she does a lot of that at AbbVie. And I'm very fortunate to have her, and they give us advice every week, and we check in with them. Now I'm going to start talking about a little bit about the teams, and they're going to share some of the goals we've already accomplished and what we want to be in the next year. Our goal right now is to reach 200 parents sign up to be signed up in our texting service by next year. And right now, at a Scoop the Loop, we got about 10 people signed up, so that's good. You know, everyone else is there. Everyone else there is just there for the cars, but we got a lot of high school parents there, so it's pretty cool. I'm going to introduce first up for the technology team, Mary Ann Chewy.
Hello, good evening. My name is Mary Ann Chewy, and I am the part of the technology team for CREATE. And a little bit about me. I'm a recent graduate of Waukegan High School, class of 2019, and I will be an incoming freshman at Tufts University in Boston, where I will be planning on majoring in biomedical engineering. So my job as the tech team for CREATE is to basically choose a texting platform that is as accessible and as easy to use for the parents of Waukegan to be able to use. So parents have varying levels of knowledge with technology, so my job is to make it as easy for them to sign up and to understand the content that they are receiving. So I reviewed over 10 different platforms online and narrowed it down to one. And here's where I would like to thank Waukegan Public Schools for letting us use their information platform, which basically fulfilled all of my criteria and what I thought would be best suited for the parents of Waukegan. And another part of my job was to create an easy way for parents to sign up. So with the use of the internet, I was able to create different forms of signing up, such as QR codes and links, so parents can easily sign up and opt in and opt out as they please. And again, I would like to thank Waukegan Public Schools for allowing us to use their facility at Lincoln Center and for providing all of their knowledge to us as new interns. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Angelica Linares, and I'm a rising sophomore at the University of Illinois in Springfield. And together we're part of the content team, so this means that we're responsible for drafting the text messages that parents will be receiving. And as this is a service for parents, it was very important for us to work with the parents in our community. So through Waukegan College, we were able to work with the parent panel, and the parents were able to let us know about concerns that they have concerning college readiness and information that they felt that we needed to provide to them and to other parents in the community. And they were also able to review our messages to make sure that the messages we were putting out were as concise as possible and also able to be understood by all the parents. And we were also able to work closely with District 60 staff members in order to get important dates, important district workshops, and other important information that parents need to be aware of that sometimes they don't find themselves having access to in order so that they can help their kids with their post-secondary endeavors.
So, in the last few weeks, we've written over 70 messages that will be sent out to parents over the course of the school year. This is aimed at the parents of high school students, whereas we're divided among grade levels. And we have translated these messages into Spanish to serve our bilingual community and to ultimately help the parents drive their children's academic success.
And last but not least, I'm going to mention the marketing team. Like I mentioned, right now they're at the field house. They're there Mondays and Tuesdays. Kadir Castellanos is a rising junior at Dominican University, where he is studying international relations with a minor in political science, on track for law school. Citlali Ramirez is an incoming first year at Duke University, where she is planning to study marine biology. Some of their goals include reaching more community influencers and getting on a radio talk show. They've already done quite a lot. They were recently mentioned on the Chicago Tribune on July 5th, on the front page, in the Lake County News Sun as well. As well as the 10th District Congressman Brad Schneider's Monday, July 8th newsletter last week. We're also going to be at various events coming up, including the Soul Train line this coming Sunday, so that's going to be really exciting, trying to get people. Also a lot of free food and a lot of other great stuff as well, so be sure to be there. The current record I checked is 426 people, so I think we can probably beat that. But besides that, the marketing team is going to be reaching out to as many aldermen as we can and as many community influencers like yourselves. So hopefully if you guys can help spread the word, that'd be awesome. And maybe reach a few Facebook pages like Sam Cunningham's Facebook page. That'd be pretty cool. But we also brought a few things. We brought a few flyers. They're in English and Spanish. And a lot of the flyers, all the flyers also have QR codes. So like if parents sometimes feel kind of lazy, like just type it in on the spot, but they can also just scan it with their iPhones or Androids.
Thank you.
And we also brought little buttons we made for free at the library today, so that's pretty cool.
Cool. Nice. All right, buddy. Bridge to your child's dreams. We good?
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time, and yeah, hopefully we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank
Yes.
you.
What's up? How are you? Good. Thank you. How's your summer?
Thank you, all those. Thank you. Who's next? Who's next? No. Police.
14. She did this.
Okay. I forgot the order.
Obviously, she went with us. Who was next?
PD. No, he's not. He said Bob.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, members of the community. I'd like to introduce you tonight to 3 students. We sent 4, but I'd like to introduce you to 3 Waukegan residents. If I could have Astrid Landa come forward, Juan Paniagua, and Angel Salgado, please come forward. Mayor and council, just to let you know, during the week of June 23rd through the 28th, the American Legion hosted a Youth State Police Academy at Camp Lincoln in Springfield, Illinois. City of Waukegan sponsored 4 students, as I said, Astrid Landa, Juan Paniagua, Francisco Marinez, and Angel Salgado. They attended. All 4 of the youth that went are Waukegan residents. I'd like to also introduce Officer Loida Santiago. And Loida's going to be real happy, but see, this is Loida's last year. She's retiring in August, so I can do this.
Oh.
So she can't say anything. So Loida's been instrumental in the police department putting this together, and so much to the point where the camp asked her to come down and be a counselor. So we were real honored to send her down there. She got down there 16-hour days. She was real happy.
Wow.
Did a real good job, though. I will say one thing about these young folks that are here. Their parents are extremely supportive and very proud of them as well, just as we are.
Yeah.
Also of note, Angel was a class valedictorian down there. So.
Wow.
I was told Astrid wants to say something. Please.
Hi. I want to say thank you to the chief and Ms. Santiago for letting us have the opportunity and sponsoring us in a different environment, something that maybe we want to do in the future, like work in law enforcement. Like, for example, I want to work in law enforcement, and maybe from this camp, we learn to be different, to be determined for whatever we want to become in the future. And yeah, thank you.
Again, this is a very nice program for the teenagers, you know, and this is a program for good teenagers, not for you know, bad kids, because when I was asking people if they wanted to go to the police academy, they were thinking that it was for the bad kids. And I said, no, this is for good students, so they can go there and learn a little bit, you know, about what law enforcement it's all about. And actually, they went and represent Waukegan, and they all did very well. I'm so proud of them. So, and I would like anybody here, if they have kids or family members, ages from 15 to 17, contact the community division here, the police department, and that runs right after school during summer. They can join the police academies in Springfield. It runs only for a week, and they can learn a lot of stuff during a week. It's fun.
Okay. Great, thanks. Wow. All right, here, let's take a picture.
Jane, am I in the right place? You got to come over a little bit more. Come over a little bit more. All right. You ready?
Okay, we're all looking here first. Alderman Moiseo, can you move closer to the head?
Open up.
A little bit more.
Open you guys up. There you go. Open them up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking up. Smiling. Thank you.
Mom and Dad, you got it?
I got it.
All right. Congratulations. Chief, you want to stay?
It's not, it's gonna be very short. Yeah, I just needed help real quick. One second. Before I begin, I just wanted to say one thing. David Motley, if you could please give him a round of applause.
Yes. Yeah.
Outstanding job on Tuesday, Waukegan. I'll let you off the hook. A lot of work went into this. Thank you, David. You don't get it so enough. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well deserved.
Yeah, no, All right, I know we're going long. We're gonna keep this short. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. You guys know, I hope that you're not getting tired of me continually bragging on this department or this community every chance I get, but you have to understand I love it. And tonight I get to wear 2 hats because tonight I get to wear my also Waukegan Park District hat. And Waukegan, you just don't know how good you got it. Our department, the resource that we have in so many different areas of this community, for this city and our department. So you know what? I'm not gonna brag. I'm gonna let somebody else come up here and do it for me. Battalion Chief Eric Lyons and my medical officer, Ryan Conski.
Thank you very much for this time. The Waukegan Fire Department mission states, with honor, dedication, and pride, it shall be the mission of the Waukegan Fire Department to provide emergency response, education, prevention, excellent quality service to the community we serve and to all who call upon us. I believe that all of these components of this mission statement share equally in our drive to provide excellent service, not only as members of the fire department, but also as members of the City of Waukegan's overall team. It is my belief, and I hope we can all agree, that the component of education is important in our everyday lives, whether delivered through our schools, by our neighborhood and community-based organizations, or by entities such as the Waukegan Park District, and of course the Waukegan Fire Department included in that. A recent study published by Duke University concluded that there could be an increase of approximately 7 to 10% in the survival rate of individuals in communities where robust first aid educational programs existed. These types of programs are available and offered here in the City of Waukegan by organizations like the Waukegan Park District and of course the Waukegan Fire Department. A little shameless plug here. For more information on CPR training, CERT, which is our Community Emergency Response Team, File of Life program, or any of the other numerous programs and offerings that the Waukegan Fire Department has, I would encourage everyone to go to the city's website, www.waukeganil.gov. Click on the department tab, go down to the fire department tab, and you'll be able to access that. We also have the fire department Facebook page, or contact our administrative office anytime during business hours, 847-249-5410, and we would be happy to get that information out to you. Okay. Enough with the commercial. It's a combination of the beneficial emergency first aid and community response and the Waukegan Park District that brings us before you tonight. On June 30th, 2019, at approximately 2 p.m. in the afternoon, an individual experienced a medical emergency at a local restaurant along the route of the annual Independence Day Parade. As you may recall, this was about the time of the day that the rain began, and the restaurant was packed to capacity with spectators seeking refuge from the inclement weather. Near the restaurant were a number of personnel from the Waukegan Park District who responded and aided in providing life-sustaining care to a member of our community who was in dire need. Fire Chief George Bridges has stated that the Waukegan Park District is an awesome resource for our community and a well-oiled machine that is regularly a great partner with the Waukegan Fire Department. I hope we can all agree that the Waukegan Fire Department and its employees are truly a gem in the chest that in the treasure chest that we know as the City of Waukegan. Each of the individuals that will be coming up tonight will be getting a plaque, and it states, for your outstanding citizenship and courageous life-saving actions on June 30th, 2019, you demonstrated selfless acts combined with outstanding resuscitative actions which resulted in the preservation of human life. And this is signed by Medical Officer Lieutenant Ryan Konski, myself, and Fire Chief Bridges. First up, I'd like to have Tanya Brady come up. Tanya is a medic first aid trainer and the risk manager for the Waukegan Park District. She's responsible for the great quality of preparation for these fine individuals that we're going to see tonight and ensured that all of the documentation was assessed and completed for this event. Next, I'd like to have Mike Mayfield, Quincy Baster, and Maria Owens come up. Maria is also a district medic first aid trainer, and Maria, Quincy, and Mike all assisted in making sure that the parking lot was cleared for the arriving paramedic unit. As I described in the narrative, the restaurant was quite busy, and this was an instance where seconds would have caused a negative outcome, and so all of their assistance was greatly appreciated. Next, I'd like to have Shelby McDonald and Caitlin Fisher come up. Caitlin was one of the supervisors there, and she informed the other staff that came to the assistance, and Shelby, they also assisted inside the restaurant, making sure that when the paramedics arrived that they had a clear path and clear access to the patient that needed the effort. Next, I'd like to have Brett Pomeroy come up. Brett was in the restaurant. He assisted with getting information about the patient, called 911, radioed to the other staff so that they could also respond, and then also assisted with gaining access to the patient. And finally, I'd like to have Cameron Crombie come up. And Cameron, in addition to his certificate, he's also getting a plaque which states, "For your outstanding citizenship and courageous life-saving actions on June 30th, 2019, you demonstrated selfless acts combined with outstanding resuscitative actions which resulted in the preservation of human life." Cameron responded to the patient directly and helped to administer rescue breaths and CPR for the patient, maintaining the life, sustaining the life so that when the paramedics arrived, they were Come on. Folks, it's an absolute honor to be able to serve the citizens of this city on a daily basis, but it really brings joy to our hearts when we're able to work with our partners in the community to aid and assist individuals that we may otherwise not be able to get to in time. And so it's instances like this where the education and the opportunity for these individuals to take action and to step up and to be part of the community, and not just individuals, but part of the community that help to sustain a life. And again, truly is a gem in the treasure chest that we call Waukegan.
That was worth it.
One, thank everybody for being patient with us, but every now and then, we don't get an opportunity to tell the Waukegan story. The Waukegan story is this. There are people doing some incredible things in our community, and it is not told. I was always taught when we let somebody else tell the story, they tell it wrong. When we tell it right. This is the Waukegan that I know and I'm proud of. So for all those here tonight, from the presentations to those doing some extraordinary things within this community, this is the reason why I consider this to be an exceptional place to live in real family. With that being said, that concludes the mayor's comments and presentations. Next on the agenda is item 3. Is it 3? 2. Item 2, audience time.
Okay, audience time. 3 minutes for each individual that's signed up on the sign-in sheet. Okay, and forgive me if I say your name incorrectly. First we have, I think it's Mina Shigang.
Mina?
Mina?
Okay, they might not be
Mina?
here.
No?
Keep going.
Okay, Kenneth Smith?
I don't see Kenny.
No? Okay. Reese Cotton?
Reese.
Hi, my name is Reese Cotton. I am Avion Deshawn Cotton's aunt, who died in police custody on June 27th. We are requesting the copy of the police cam because we have not been able to get that. Nobody's working with us. We haven't been contacted by anybody, and we'd like to have that tape so we can get closure to my family. This is very serious to us, as well as my sister, who is his grandmother, and his mom, who is very ill right now. So I'm pleading to you, the city of Waukegan, and the mayor, to work with us to get this tape so we can find out what happened to Avion. If there was an injustice, we want to know. If there was justice served, we want to know that as well. I'm letting my sister talk.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to be too long, but like my sister said, this is my grandson. And it's important that we know as a family
That's all right. Just hold it, Ruth. It's okay.
exactly what happened to him. We just want to see the video cam. No one is working with us. So we need your assistance. If we're not going about this the correct way, we need to be told. This is my grandson. We loved him, regardless of what the police said, regardless of what was on television. We need to know. So if we're not doing this in the correct manner, someone needs to direct us. So Mayor, we're asking for assistance.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. Thanks, Ruthie and Reese. For those who do not know, there is a connection there from our family to the Cotton family. Thank you for being patient and understanding, and we will work with you within the parameters that we have, okay? So
Brother
nice seeing
Blanks.
both of you.
Brother Blanks?
As you know, last week, I spoke a couple of weeks ago, requesting, Mayor, I put in a FOIA request for the release of the footage. As for the family, they need it, I know, for closure for them. But also the community need closure because, as I said, there's the police narrative, and then there is the community narrative. Now, through the corporate council, now this is what I received from the city through the corporate council. And basically what it says here, it says, your request is granted in part. We have enclosed a copy of the following information that you requested. It says here, search warrant, arrest record, police, fire call, police call. But to be honest with you, this is nothing to do with what I requested. Okay, I requested information. Now let me tell you what I requested, and I'm gonna read that to you. And I open up with respect to the pending investigation. This is submitted in the request for any and all dash cam, body camera, video, and audio recording leading up to, as well as the attempted arrest and the death of Mr. Avion Cotton. Now, what they told me that, because of the pending investigation, that this was denied. But what I have a problem with, and I respect that, what I have a problem with is when it say denied, but not postponed until further notice of the investigation due to pending investigation. So when that kind of language say it's being denied and not postponed, then I need to know when will we be able to receive it. Now, I've talked to the chief earlier, and we had a conversation, but this family need closure, the community need closure, and those body cameras belong to the community because we pay the taxes for them, so we should be able to see what has happened here. And so what I did, I filed the appeal to the Attorney General's office. That is my next right. I filed the appeal to the Attorney General's office for the review of the denial as to why this would not be afforded for us or for the community, because that says the denial, not a postpone. So hopefully you guys can get some closure for this family, and the community need closure. I mean, we're not asking too much here. So wouldn't you like to know what happened to the community? So let's make that happen, okay? Let's make that happen for this family, and let's make that happen for the community, and make it happen for your police officers so people can really see what happened. Okay? Thank you for your time and your attention.
Thank you. Anita Johnson.
Hi, my name is Anita. I've been here 45 years. When Mayor Sabanjan was the mayor, when it was love in Waukegan, care and concern in Waukegan, family love. We just want truth and justice for Avion. I know you was out of town, Mayor, because I was trying to get in touch with you. The chief, the first thing he said on the news was his officers was telling the truth. His officers are still still working. They still have active duty, like it was a boast. And the truth going to come out in the dash in the cameras. Well, they didn't have them on. Everybody was out there. They wasn't on. We got over 50 people to let you know they wasn't on. So where's the truth? We want truth. I mean, I've been here 45 years. From experience, I know what they will do. We wrong if it's up to them. But no, we want truth and we want justice for Avion. Because they saying one thing and 50 other people saying another thing. And my grandmother always say a lie will change, but the truth will remain the same.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Avion's little cousin, and I was out there after the situation happened about 10 minutes afterwards, and there was a whole bunch of undercover police officers out there, and they went about the situation wrong. And it was wrong for our family. And when a guy said the prayer earlier, he said family, everybody's family is the same. Everybody's equal, and that's not what we feel. You know, like the lady whose house it happened at, she had footage. She had clear footage of what happened. And they threatened her in all different type of ways to delete the footage. Now, it's no way we can get the footage that happened at her house. Like everything, like every way, which way they went about it, it was wrong. We haven't been able to see his body still to this day. We had a funeral Saturday and his body wasn't there. Like, what justice is that? Like, if he was wrong, we understand that. And we want to see he was wrong. And if you guys were wrong, we want to see that you were wrong too. Like, somebody has to be at fault at this situation, because if it was your family or your brother, your sister, your friend, you would want the same treatment and the same respect. We're not standing up here being disrespectful on the news footage, the polices. We wasn't disrespectful in no type of way. We want justice. That's it. That's all.
I'm sorry, miss, we didn't get your name for the record, please.
My name is Pamela Johnson.
Thank you. Virginia Briscoe, please.
Hello. The last time I was here, I got cut off and I wasn't able to speak my last point. So I just want to finish with that and then get into some comments. So what I wanted to address the last time was there, at a lot of meetings, there have been a lot of discussion about the potholes here in Waukegan. I didn't have time to address the pothole situation. I know that they came and they filled the potholes. However, the way that they filled the potholes, it's a mess. And I would hope that we have not paid them the final dollars for filling the potholes, because the way they stand right now, I'm sure that those of you who ride in Waukegan, and I was so glad to hear all the good comments and everything from Waukegan earlier, but to be honest, I'm not there. You know, we pay a lot of taxes here, and the state of our potholes, and to know that a company has left these streets in these conditions, it's just not good. And then my mom lives in Lilac Ledge. When you turn in Lilac Ledge, it's a mess. And I can't believe that the company left these streets like this. That's what I want to and the last week. So I was just wondering, you know, I come here to the meetings, and then I actually watch them, you know. We come to this podium as residents, and we come with comments and recommendations every 2 weeks. I never know what happens to our recommendations. I never know what happens to the comments that we come. There's always audience time on this agenda, but what happens to it? And so later on, if someone can address that, maybe in the alderman comments, or you, mayor, someone, what happens to the comments? We're given audience time. What happens to the recommendations? And I really hear really good comments and recommendations that come from this podium, but I don't know what happens to them. So if someone can address that. My last point is that for Waukegan in this area, I've been here 25 years, and the area, it's not the same. You know, I appreciate when people say that aldermen say that they put the garbage that's there, but I'd really like us to raise the bar here. There are a lot of things that are happening here in Waukegan, and I don't feel like a lot of the issues that are here are truly being addressed as far as where this community has gone to and where it continues to go to. We can have the presentations, we can have all this, we could talk about scoop. I think that all that's great. However, if you look at where this community is right now versus where it was before, it's not in a good position. And as a taxpayer here, I think that things need to change. Thank you.
Thank you. Tom Kimmel.
Tonight.
Yeah, Tom Kimmel at 1425 North Avenue. Just a short comment. I mean, you have a wonderful beach here in Waukegan, but what is missing is for those people who don't have a car to drive down to the beach, and they have to walk in the hot weather when they have children, is not fair. It should be for all of Waukegan to enjoy. I think a very simple solution is to charge $10 for out-of-town people to come. Why not use some of that money and have a shuttle service so people who don't have a car can enjoy the beach like anyone else in Waukegan? And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Diana Burdett.
So what Wygenia said was brilliant, and it was what I was getting at. I have submitted a report made by Natural Resource Defense Council regarding how municipalities could change the coding and the zoning in order to assist in affecting the environmental justice issues within environmental justice designated communities. What has been done with that report? I sent it to Thomas Maylard. I mentioned it here. I talked about a portion of it, and I've submitted it twice now on this podium, and I want to know if those comments are being used, because that is a way we can protect this community. The Environmental Protection Agency is not going to do that. I have four articles that came out just this week alone. The Environmental Protection Agency is preparing to weaken rules that for the past quarter century have given communities a voice in deciding how much pollution may legally be released by nearby power plants and factories. They're going to fail that. There are many studies showing links between certain pesticides and health effects such as developmental delays and autism, yet the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency will allow farmers to resume broad use of sulfoxaflor, a dangerous pesticide. We're going to fail that. This continues. This is going to continue and progress at a national level. So we need to be prepared at a municipal level. And there are roadways for that. There is a report out there that has been shown and proven to assist environmental justice communities on how to repair and rezone and reuse policies that are in effect right now to help protect the community. That report is there for you. If you want me to print it out, it's 40 pages, but if I have to, I will. I shouldn't have to, though. I'm just a resident. I come in here and I ask for protection, for myself, for my children, for our community, and I don't see anything happening. We're talking about gambling, which is detrimental to the community. We're talking about entertainment downtown. Great. What about our air? What about our health? Something needs to be done. Is there an environmental justice committee that has been formed within the municipal level? Environmental justice designation has been around for several years for Waukegan specifically. And there is an environmental justice organization that's been pushing for coal, that's been pushing on clean water. Clean Power Lake County has been around, and they've never been asked what sort of route should we take or work together with the city. They're there.
Thank you.
You need to do something. We need to see actions.
Thank you. Dylan Burdett.
Thank you. So I want to make two little points here. First is a very small thing. So it's summer and it's time for when companies and corporations have their community picnics, things like that. And the Greenbelt has always been a great place for that. However, my company, AbbVie, less than 2 weeks ago announced that our departmental picnic was no longer going to be held at the Greenbelt. This came on the heels of the elevated levels of ETO detected at the Greenbelt. And we found out that it was going to be moved to Libertyville. Maybe that was because of the ETO, maybe it wasn't. But it's something that I feel like we're going to be experiencing a lot more as long as we let this crisis go on unabated. Second thing is that myself and my scientific colleagues at the Earth Justice Organization, the National Resources Defense Council, and the Union of Concerned Scientists have been working very hard at a federal level to defend current EPA science and programs that are under attack. We've been countering and trying to counter studies using badly applied science put forward by groups that value profits over human lives, but the money and resources arrayed against us are very vast. Add to that the current administration's continued position that human health and life should be secondary concerns after profit have tilted this field severely against us. The best we have been able to do is slow the tide of environmental rollbacks at the federal level. We cannot stop it, and there's no political will for us to move forward with new protections. So here we are, fighting as volunteers against highly paid lobbyists, and as of now, the best strategy that we have is for us scientists to simply slow down rollbacks enough to buy local governments the time to protect themselves and their citizens. This is what's happening right now with our ETO crisis. The stereogenics facility that was shut down in Willowbrook has just filed permits with the EPA, and they're going to be reopening soon, reversing that. We're going to continue to fight, but we can't count on rescue from state or federal lawmakers. Unfortunately, this burden now has fallen to the county and the municipality. For this, I'm sorry, and for this, I don't have any advice for you. And I'm sorry, but we're doing the best we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe Kopsick.
I agree with the last two speakers. I think we do need a municipal level, some kind of environmental committee. I would suggest something called a community land trust. I don't have time to explain it, but you can look it up. You can also look up a guy named Henry George. I want to address mainly immigration and licensing. I mean, I don't think I should have to participate in the census. I'm a peaceful person. I don't intend to do anything if you include me. My address is on the form out there. You can include me if you want. But I'm a peaceful person. I'm a law-abiding person. Otherwise, I don't think I need to be a part of that. And I agree with you guys that there shouldn't be a citizenship question, but I think you need to take advantage of the full constitutional, all the tools at your disposal to stop. You need to use Jeffersonian nullification and the 10th Amendment to enjoin and prevent Illinois law enforcement authorities from cooperating with federal authorities. Because if you look in the Constitution, the federal government's only immigration authority is to establish a uniform rule of naturalization, not necessarily to enforce it. That would fall to the states. I'd like it to fall to no one. If you look at the Bible, census has typically not worked out for most people. Herod, I believe, probably had access to census information to track down the baby Jesus so he could kill him after a Roman emperor ordered a census. I just don't like the idea of government tracking us at all points. And I don't think we should have to have a license to live in this country. I don't think any local government should have the authority to approve or deny licenses or permits. I think all the decisions that are being made about liquor licenses, casino licenses, and permits can be made by the people who agree to show up here for free. And I hope you don't listen to the woman who was here 2 weeks ago saying that government should require permits and asking the government for permission to have garage sales. There's no reason to suppress economic activity in the community. And the woman didn't demonstrate how garage sales hurt her or her property value in any way. And I think it's really interesting that we're, talking about giving public support to casinos, gambling, and alcohol to bring people in for tourism, which, they can go to the casino and they can play a game like I hope you win enough money to cover your medical expenses, because there are 11 ongoing environmental catastrophes all throughout Lake County that are polluting you while you're in this casino. So you have to keep in mind how taxpayer money is going to quote-unquote private companies. You need to keep treating them like public enterprises or public organizations as long as they're receiving taxpayer funds. As long as they're receiving taxpayer funds, they should do what the public wants them to do.
Thank you. John Gaskell.
Mr. Mayor, Alderman, my name is John Gaskell. I'm the Assistant Director at the Waukegan Public Library. I come with just 3 things. First of all, our summer reading program is off and kicking like no other. We really have had a great turnout from the community, and I encourage anyone, we go until the 20th of July, so sign up. It's never too late to sign up for the summer reading program at the Waukegan Public Library. We've served well over 600 lunches to young people in the community 18 and younger. That's pretty exciting. And last but certainly not least, I want to say thank you for this last, Waukegan Public Library just had a patio, I would call it the patio performance stage. We had our first performance on the patio performance stage, and it was a hit, and the band was great. The food was fantastic by Chef Jeff and Anfonem. And we had a great opportunity to expand out and use our whole patio to be able to get people in and off of the sidewalk. So thank you for helping us to abate any kind of trouble that we might cause and to the sidewalks and people. And we want to just continue to provide services to the community. So if any of you out there in the community don't have a library card, I'd encourage you to get one. Alderman, I'll say it one more time. Please do get a library card and use a library card. Thank you very much.
Jerry, Bob, and Ron, if you can approach. If you can approach Jerry, Bob, and Ron.
Yeah.
You gonna do the present?
Okay. What do you want us to talk about?
No.
Other recognition than we arranged.
Well, there was a little confusion downtown in Scoop, and with deep apologies from the original Scoopers and the mayor and everybody that was involved in this. We were supposed to have a presentation for a ribbon cutting ceremony, and wires got crossed, okay? And there was supposed to be a gentleman by the name of Rich Carruthers that was supposed to be one there to pull up his 50 Mercury, in which his dad was an original Scooper in 1951.
Carriage
Yes. Yeah, Rich Carruthers, and his father just passed away about a year and a half ago. And anyway, it got goofed up, and I don't know how we can apologize anymore for the goof up, but Mona, I don't remember her last name. Costa. Her car got called up, and it was just more or less by confusion from Mona and her husband showing up at the Wednesday night sponsor and volunteer dinner, that they just assumed it was Mona's car, and they brought her car up, and and of course, she was a little flabbergasted, didn't know why she was up there, but we overlooked Rich, and that was the one that we really wanted to be up there. And Carriage Auto Body is the one that brought it to me, and I brought it to Dave, and anyway, it got messed up, and I'm truly sorry. I don't know what else we can do about this, but apologize, and go from there.
Carriage Auto Body, everybody, legendary in Waukegan. Your dad, boy, miss him. But I didn't know he passed.
I remember your dad.
I didn't know he passed. Oh, wow.
And he was in Waukegan forever, and always known for the body shop and stuff. And the thing is Carriage has been a major sponsor for us for years.
Yeah.
He spends not only with Scoop, but talking with him, he backs baseball teams and football and soccer, and he spends a lot of money. He's one of the few businesses in Waukegan that this doesn't do it once a year. This man spends
all the time.
Quite a bit of money supporting this community. And if everybody in this community would support it 10% of what this man does, we'd be a whole lot better off.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So yes, I didn't even know that they were in the audience. I'm not a car guy. I'm the crazy art guy.
Well, I thought Rich was here because of Scoop coming on.
So I gave them a commercial earlier, and that was related to they sponsored the very 4 specific amazing trophies, including Mayor's Choice. So we'll have a special recognition for them too, probably on their turf, Mayor.
Yeah.
So, but
Come to you,
since they're in
Rick.
the audience, we want to call them up and shake your hand, shake the other guy's hands, and get another photograph.
Yeah, let's do that. Come on up, Ken. Yay.
Kenny, we love you, man.
That's my buddy right there. Make sure you get an extra special presentation. Yes, come on. Come on, you can go to the man.
Okay. Everyone's smiling, yes. 1, 2, 3, smile. One more. There it is.
I'm just amazed I'm just amazed you can, move around like that.
Who's in the car though?
Yeah, we do that. And Ken will let me drive the truck.
I thought he was here for Scoop. He only was here for Scoop. Rich?
Okay. Margaret Carrasco?
Margarita.
Absolutely, kudos to everyone's been mentioned tonight, but Dave, we forgot one person, one group. In my opinion, at least, for the 4th of July, we had that electronic, for those persons that didn't make it, because there were thousands of people down at the beach, go all the time, the electronic rock group.
They're coming to another meeting.
Okay, all right, I liked the variety, and I think we need to do more events and music for the youth in the community. There was only one big, huge issue. Because there was thousands of people there, you could not get out. It was a real big safety hazard, okay? We really need 2 exits from there, from the beach and Steiner Pavilion. And talking about music, and I do like variety of music, and I am in love blues music. I noticed that, once again, we have another upcoming event, which is titled Mayor Cunningham's Blues Night. Okay? All right, and I don't have a problem with the name, call it whatever you want. However, why are we as taxpayers paying for it? Paying some of the expenses.
What?
At least I believe that there was some checks there, whatever. Last year we had it too. I believe there was some things paid there too. Because just a case, and I don't know, legal counsel hasn't informed the alderman. If you call an event, let's say Margaret Carrasco Blues event, and I'm an elected official, it's considered a political event. And as we all know, spending tax dollars on political events is illegal.
What?
And because if you do that, that's actually taxpayer fraud. Thank you.
Thank you. Edgar Sandoval?
That's it?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Senator, I apologize.
Hi, I'm Edgar. First, somebody made a comment about good kids versus bad kids. All children are valuable, regardless of how we define them. So I found that problematic. But second, I want to go off the comment made about the garage sales also previously, and other issues that have come up. I feel that we, as a community and a society, often find punishment as the easy solution for a lot of community issues. I feel like we can find a more creative and holistic and a better solution. A lot of these issues, such as having kids out late at night past curfew or garage sales, are systematic issues. Finding people for not knowing these things, although it seems like it should make sense, only exacerbates the economic inequality that our city faces. We already have such a large population who struggles and is living paycheck to paycheck. Finding people for things that we should be able to solve at the root issue, why is this happening? Trying to deal with those would help out the community a lot more than just finding people. I think we as a society need to move away from punishment and towards a more caring model for communities. Third, as you're all probably aware, we are currently dealing with a detention camp crisis at the border. I just want to highlight, I want to thank the comments made about the immigrant community here in Waukegan as well, because the community is one of the reasons Waukegan continues to do what it can do. But I'm just asking that there are so many people being held at the border. Half a dozen children have died in detention camps due to CBP and ICE negligence. Many of these people are leaving their home countries due to the geopolitical relations that the U.S. has in Latin America. Many of these people are leaving poverty because of what we've done. I want you to think to yourselves, what will you tell people 30 to 40 years from now about what you did about the migrants being held in these detention camps in inhumane conditions? I hope you can tell these people that you let your voice be heard, that this is not okay. And so I hope our elected officials and everyone here calls and makes it known that this is not okay, and we will not stand by it. Thank you.
Thank you. Giselle Rodriguez?
Hello, my name is Giselle Rodriguez, and I'm a member of Lake County Immigrant Advocacy. Over the last few weeks, President Trump has sent multiple threats to deport our immigrant community by initiating hundreds of ICE raids nationwide. This past weekend, LCIA spent hours working with families who were in tears while filling out paperwork giving temporary parental guardianship of their children to other people in case one of them was reported. A few lucky people has U.S. citizen neighbors who accepted the responsibility for many others. And for many others, it was not an option. Can you imagine having to plan for the separation of you and your children? It broke my heart to see parents worried about their future. Children asking mommy, why is she crying? We have a responsibility as a community to protect one another. Our elected officials should reiterate their commitment to the immigrants that contribute so much to this city. Recently, it was shared that Mayor Cunningham met with the 3 general consulates of Latin America with the largest populations living in Waukegan. These include Mexico, Honduras, and Belize. It was reported that mayors shared conversations on immigration concerns facing our Waukegan residents. It is time we turn these conversations into action. We are here today to request that Mayor Cunningham, along with the members of the City Council, play a stronger role in our community by vocalizing their support for immigrant families. We need to put these conversations into action, and to do so, we are requesting the following. Notifying the community through a public statement regarding when and where ICE is planned or confirmed to be in the area. Publishing a public statement that they will continue to honor their commitment and not work or share information with ICE or other federal agencies. Working with local immigrant organizations to stay informed on changes made to immigration policies that impact their work and city residents. Developing a plan to ensure all past immigration laws in Illinois are implemented and enforced in our local government. Support the development of a command center that informs and educates community residents on processes and procedures for preparing in the event of a deportation in the family. This is the moment where police should be more vocal about not working with ICE. So we also ask for officials to sign on to LCIS memo to show your commitment to the immigrant population of Waukegan. We hope our city of Waukegan becomes a leader in Lake County and sets an example to other cities and municipalities to sign on as well, and ensure that we are doing as much as possible to address the concerns of our immigrant brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Thank you. Sean T. White.
Good evening. I so rise, Mr. Mayor, and to the council to thank you for a wonderful job for the Scoop, making me feel safe at my business at 29 Genesee. I thank the fire department and the police department. I also like to thank the clerk's office for their helping me in the process of getting a license. Kind of dismayed that I didn't get information why my license was not approved today, but I still rise to say thank you to the city clerk and her office for all the support they give me along the way to get my license. So I look forward to speaking to Mr. Long after the meeting to figure out what went wrong. Thank you, and keep up the good work, City Council.
Thank you. Mayor, that concludes audience time.
No. All right. Item number 3. Okay. That's a motion, right? Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, are you giving this to the clerk as a letter of record? That's what you need? Young lady who spoke. Yeah, someone gave this to us. Do you want this is your, okay, it'll go to the clerk, it'll be part of our public record. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Item 3, consent agenda. Items under the consent agenda are considered routine and/or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. Anyone board member, alderman, councilman member wishes to have a separate vote on any items, it will be pulled from the consent agenda and voted on separately. All right? Okay.
I have questions, Mayor Cunningham.
You said there's a question?
Yes, I have on item A, to vote on the regular minutes, or regular meeting minutes from last council. There's no copy of the meeting minutes there. So can we vote on those if the public hasn't seen them or we haven't even seen them, that they're correct?
They're part of your...
It's not on there.
They're not on there.
They should be attached if you click on view minutes. When you go into the body, the audience and the members of the public won't see them until they become voted on.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're embedded into the document.
Okay.
It's a little different. It doesn't have the little letter thing on the side.
Right,
You have to go to
yeah.
the actual body of it
Okay.
and look at the minutes and then click on that.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was number 1 question. Number 2 question, I just wanted a a point of clarification then. Ms. Cresco brought up about the title of the mayor's Blues Fest. From a legal point of view, counsel, can you tell us if that is legal and clarify that point for her, or do we not clarify that or not?
Right now, it's on the agenda.
Is that on this agenda somewhere? Is this on the agenda somewhere?
It's under, I was watching it, it's under item B, and it's under the bill run, is what she's talking about. And it's payment to a performer or vendor.
Lonnie Givens.
I don't know the circumstances. I'd have to look at it, and this is the first I've heard of it.
Well, if you
Mr. Givens is an entertainer.
But that's not her question.
That is her question. Her question is this a political deal? That's what she's asking. That's what you're asking, Alderman?
Well, I mean, can it be named after the mayor, or can it not be? And
It's Mayor's Blues Night, not Mayor Cunningham. That's what it is.
Okay.
It has always been, as with not only this mayor, but other mayors have had other things, and it's to bring people in. So I don't know where Margaret is getting that from, and I'm certainly not going to use Margaret's interpretation as to what we are legal and not legal,
Okay.
or what's legal.
Let's just do-
What we have done here is created activities in our downtown. We want to call it the Alderman's Night. We want to call it my night, whatever. It's to bring bodies in the downtown.
But why wouldn't we just call it City of Waukegan's night? I mean,
It was mayor's. That's what it was. It was a mayor's blues night. That's all. We've talked about this about 3 years in a row. You know, we are building something in this community in the downtown. We want a Waukegan night, we can have a Waukegan night.
Okay. I just
All right?
wanted point of
Well,
clarification.
a point of order is, it is not a political statement. It's not a political statement.
Okay. I just wanted clarification so that she asked a question and.
All right.
Yeah.
I wish you could have brought that to me. I wish she could have brought that to me.
It came up, so that's why I'm asking
Okay,
you.
then, all right, it came up. Now it's up and it's out.
Okay.
This is not a political statement.
Okay.
Lonnie Gibbons has been, from my understanding, a world-renowned singer, from my understanding. So he says, hey, why can't I be a part of downtown Waukegan? I said, talk to David. Put it on there. Just like others. We had others the other night at school.
But that's not what her question was about.
Okay.
So,
Do we change it from scoop? I hear what you're saying, but, you know, to validate a Margaret Carrasco's question was political, was not political, that should be something that we discuss. You know, and it sounds like I'm a little irritable about it because, you know, what it sounds like to me is that I'm trying to get over on the city of Waukegan. And that offends me. It offends me. Not saying that it's you, I understand what you're doing because there's a question that came to a legislative body. But I want to speak to this public, I want to speak to this alderman. I don't need to get over on anybody. I've made my bones trying to be a good leader in Waukegan, Illinois. And I think I made it honestly. And if there was an error on my end, then tell me about the error. Don't come up and accuse me that I'm trying to be political. If anyone was trying to be political, it was her making that statement. And I would defend that. And I would say to only all of you, if I even entertain the thought that I'm taking advantage of the opportunities that exist for this community, I'm going to say this like the streets would say, you check me on it. And if I know Ann Taylor, she will.
that's why I'm asking the question.
That's
I
right.
think it's.
So I appreciate you defending and asking that of the public, but that right there, you know, that's why we have the Waukegan Proud Awards, because that is the only thing that's going to get printed about the city of Waukegan. The mayor of Waukegan, whether it be Sam Cunningham, Wayne Motley, Bob Sabanjan, Richard Hyde, Dan Drew, or Durkin. They did it on the strength, it is bettering the city of Waukegan, not us personally. If we weren't doing the job, the people wouldn't put us here.
Well, that's why I wanted you to clarify it.
Thank you. Any other questions? I know, Alderman, you said you had 6 and whatever, which?
No.
Okay, let's be clear. We're going to go for the consent. It's 3A through 3S. The other ones we're going to individualize. So if you want anything out of 3A and 3S to come out, Alderman Florian.
L.
Who?
Item L.
Item L. Okay, item L is out. Any other ones?
Okay, you need a
Okay.
motion to,
All right, there's going to be a motion and a second. That motion, the motions are there, I'm sorry, the items are going to be read by the clerk, the deputy clerk, and then we will vote on that particular motion. So I'm going to motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Turner. Are there any other questions to the motion? And that is to consent agenda for 3A through K, then M through S. Any questions?
No.
Please read the items on the agenda, on the consent agenda.
We have to vote.
Let's read them, then vote. Is that all right?
we don't need 2 motions, you only
Okay,
need 1.
all right. This
We did that last week with voting.
He's going to read them.
He's going to read the motions as they stand and then go from there.
Item A, motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, July 1, 2019. Item B, motion to approve vendor payments dated July 15, 2019, in the total amount of $821,610.66. Item C, motion to approve the regular payroll dated July 5th, 2019, in the total amount of $1,585,092.48. Item D, motion to approve the uniform and comp time cash out payment payroll dated July 5, 2019, in the total amount of $1,029.08. Motion to approve the final cash out of the names listed on the agenda, payroll dated July 5, 2019, in the total amount of $6,799.68. Item F, motion to approve the final cash out name listed on the agenda, payroll dated July 5, 2019, in the total amount of $23,936.92. Item G, motion to approve a fee waiver and a waiver for noise to exceed 50 decibels from 8/2/2019 to 8/4/2019, from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. for Kearns at Most Blessed Trinity Parish. Special events permit pending, staff approval. Item H, motion to approve the use of city property from 7/20/2019 to 7/21/2019 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for Pro-Am Beach Soccer Windy City Qualifier at Waukegan Municipal Beach. Special events permit pending, staff approval. Item I, motion to approve fee waiver for use of city property and waiver for noise to exceed 50 decibels 8/11/2019 from 9:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. for First United Methodist Church Beach Worship Service at Steiner Pavilion. Special events permit pending, staff approval. Item J, motion to approve a fee waiver and a waiver for noise to exceed 50 decibels from 9/6/2019 to 9/7/2019, from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. for Waukegan Regional Air Show Incorporated, doing business as Northern Illinois Air Show at Waukegan National Airport. Special events permit pending, staff approval. Item K, motion to approve the use of city property and waiver for noise to exceed 50 decibels from 9/7/2019 from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. for Barnes Vow Renewal at Steiner Pavilion. Special events permit pending, staff approval. Skipping item L. Item M, motion to grant a bona fide operating emergency waiver to the competitive bidding process pursuant to Section 2-458I2 and retroactively approve the award of a contract to Northern Divers USA relative to flooding repairs at the water plant for a not-to-exceed amount of $56,270. This project utilizes 2018 water and sewer bond funds. This matter was heard at the Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item N, motion to grant a good faith waiver to the competitive bidding process pursuant to Section 2-458I7 and approve the award of a contract to Campanella & Sons in order to make sewer repairs as necessary during the 2019-2020 fiscal year for not to exceed amount of $100,000. This project utilizes 2018 water and sewer bond funds. This matter was heard in the Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item O, motion to approve the award of 4 contracts during the 2019-2020 fiscal year to the lowest responsible bidder, GNS Services, relative to mowing services as followed: $9,300 6-week contract, $18,800 cemeteries, $25,600 bi-weekly contract, and $27,700 weekly contract. This matter was heard in the Finance and Purchasing Committee. Motion to grant a sole source waiver to the competitive bidding process pursuant to Section 2-458I1 and approve the award of a contract to Kavana to perform leachate pumping during the 2019-2020 fiscal year for a not-to-exceed amount of $50,000. This matter was heard in the Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item Q, motion to approve a contract with Global Group Incorporated for employee insurance benefits brokerage and consultant services for a period from July 15, 2019 through December 15, 2020, in an amount not to exceed $5,416.67 per month pursuant to a request for information issued by the Human Resources Director. This matter was heard in the Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item R, motion to authorize the city treasurer to sector a letter of credit with First Midwest Bank as required by the EPA relative to Yeoman Creek. This matter was heard in Finance and Purchasing Committee. Item S, motion to approve all raffle sale applications.
With that being said, roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye. Okay, that's item 3.
Item 3L now.
Oh, right, item 3L.
Item L, 3L. Motion authorizing the retention of Doc McDonald's Hopkins LLC to provide specialized legal services under the direction and supervision of Corporation Counsel. This matter was heard in Finance and Purchasing Committee.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman
My
Moiseo.
apologies.
Any other questions to the motion? Alderman Florian.
Can you tell me what budget line item this is gonna be paid out of? The last time we hired an outside counsel, that was one of the things that was brought up by the community of where's this money coming from? We have a deficit budget, so I'd like to know where in the budget this is budgeted for.
Yeah. No, let Tina. Tina, could you please answer that question?
Sure. This was not, this was unforeseen, obviously, when we were preparing the budget. Because this is not yet an insurance matter, it will become an insurance matter. Attorney Long and I discussed this a little bit last week. This will likely be charged to the Economic Development Cost Center, as it does relate to an economic development initiative from a while back.
Where do, like litigation, legal costs normally come out of?
It usually is charged either directly to the department that is associated with the lawsuit or with the litigation, or if it is through an insurance claim and it's being handled by a risk manager, it runs through our insurance fund, and then it is back charged again to the generating department, either in the workers' comp or liability line. So eventually it will find its way back to the department's budget,
Any other questions? All right. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye. Okay. Item 4, resolutions, proclamations, presentations, appointment. Library. Motion to ratify the appointment of Jasu L. Pasquale. Pasquale? Pasquale. Okay.
Josue.
All right, I'm gonna get it right. To the Waukegan Library Board, where you at? Stand up, I know you're here.
Hey, Mayor, can we get pictures with Mr. Pacias?
We'll get one with him, with Jane. Let's get a motion by Alderman Bolton, second by Alderman Rivera. Any questions to the motion? All those in favor? Aye. All right. Item B, motion to ratify the appointment of Cynthia Springfield to Waukegan Stakeholders Participation Panel. Motion by Alderman Newsome, second by Alderman Rivera. Any questions to the motion? All those in favor?
Aye. Wait, is she here?
Yeah, Cynthia, please stand. Cynthia Springfield.
All right, great, thank you.
You can probably see her face at the Social Security, right? State of Illinois.
Yeah.
She's a longtime resident and volunteer.
Yeah.
All right, motion to ratify the appointment of Victor Gonzalez to the Waukegan Planning and Zoning Commission. Motion by Alderman Seager, second by Alderman Florian. Are there any questions to the motion?
Yes, Mayor.
Alderman Taylor.
I guess my question here is basically on a planning and zoning board, I would think that we would want representation from all wards of the city. And currently, right now, is if this gentleman comes on the board, that would be 4 people from the 7th ward, 2 people from the 4th ward, 1 person from the 3rd ward, and 2 people from the 6th ward. So there's no representation from the 1st, 2nd, 8th, 9th, and 5th wards. And I find that like a little odd that we're only representing certain parts of the city. In this particular case, this is replacing a gentleman that came from the 9th ward. And frankly, I gave you a resume of a gentleman whose credentials are probably better than our corporate counsel, who wasn't even called, acknowledged, anything. And one, I think from a professional point of view, the gentleman deserved a phone call. He's a resident of this city, and it's just good manners and professional to give him a call and say, hey, I got your resume, which I gave to you on June 3rd at exactly 6:38 p.m. before that city council meeting. So I don't think it portrays a very good image of our city that he wasn't even called or acknowledged. I'm just a little confused where we're going with this. Is why is there limited representation on this planning and zoning board when we have 9 wards and 5 of those wards are not represented?
Well, ma'am, on that commission, if you take a look, have been there much longer than I've been mayor.
But you've appointed some of them.
I've appointed 1. This will be my 2nd appointment.
But I believe that one was also a 7th ward resident, right?
I really didn't look at the ward. I look at the participation that those individuals have within the city of Waukegan. If you take a Victor, one who works for First Midwest Bank. Victor has been volunteering Main Street over the last, I can't even begin to say how many years. He has his interest, his desire is to make Waukegan better. That's what I looked at. Now, I would say I apologize that I did not call this gentleman and ask something in the process in the future. Well, we'll do that. But I just felt that Victor was a better fit for where we're going, understanding who we are, and his participation with the city of Waukegan existing. That's why
I guess my concern is here this gentleman moved here in December. I met him one time at a homeowners association meeting, and he expressed, I really want to get involved in the community. I have zoning experience as an attorney. which is one of the things that we put out, that we want architects and attorneys and those types of people, and especially going forward with so many things like casinos and this development in the first ward, I would think that you would want representation from those wards as well. And the fact that it seems that planning and zoning doesn't even get a say-so on this anymore, it concerns me that it's becoming very limited on scope, that how do you get involved if you've just moved into the community and then you don't even get a call back?
Okay.
It just doesn't present
Well,
a good image.
The library board is out there. There's other boards. I know the Community Development Block Grant, they have, those are they're a great entry level on some of our boards. I would love to have a gentleman of that nature to come in there, and I'm not going to speak for the corporate counsel, but I don't believe his credentials exceed our corporate counsel. That's my personal opinion. I know that's yours. But if this gentleman just moved in this community over 3 or 4 months ago, let him get an introduction to everything about Waukegan. The library board would be great for that. More importantly, that Community Development Block Grant, that panel that oversees everybody, all organizations that represent and give service to Waukegan. Why not have him there?
Well, since
being part
this
of
is
Main
his
Street.
experience, this is what, since he works on zoning with a law firm in Chicago, it seemed like the right fit. But
Call for the question, Mayor.
I respect the fact that you did. I will reiterate, part of that process should have been, hey, we got your resume, heard you want to be a part of, and I will personally do that myself tomorrow for this gentleman. This is not to discredit. Don't look at, I just have never looked at wards. I don't know what other mayor, I haven't. I look at what those people can bring, and more importantly, an existing person. We all know him. He's been a part there, he's been out there, him and his wife. So I don't have any reservations about presenting this name for us. But your concern is duly noted, and we'll go from there. Thank you, ma'am. The question's been called. There is a motion on the floor in a second. Any other questions to the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Victor, you still here? I know he was here earlier with his wife.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Mayor,
Yes.
can we get a picture with Mrs. Springfield and Mr. Placidas?
I think they both left, but
Springfield is here.
we'll get,
Where'd y'all two go?
I'll get one. Cynthia, don't leave. We're almost done. We'll get one with me and you, all right? All right, here we go. Item 5, reports and communications. Open bids and requests for proposal. That's just reports and communication. Item 6, special community development.
You got it, Your Honor.
Motion by,
No, I gotta read it.
I know. There we go. I'm sorry, there it is. Alderman Moiseo.
I got you. Item A, motion to adopt is presented an ordinance creating a Class A3 liquor license for Windy City Distilling, Inc., located at 220 Clayton Street, Waukegan, and I so move.
Motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Turner. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Abstain.
And item B, motion to adopt is presented an ordinance creating a Class A2 liquor license for Nightshade and Darks Pandemonium Brewing, 216 Clayton Street, Waukegan, and I so move.
A motion by Alderman Moiseo, second by Alderman Turner. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsome.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Abstain.
Motion's passed and carried. Item 7, Finance and Purchasing Committee. Alderman Newsom.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item A, motion to approve the 2018 Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, CAPER program period from May 1st, 2018 through April 30th, 2019, and to further authorize the CDBG Director to make amendments as necessary and required by HUD. And I so move.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Seager. Any questions to the motion?
I have a
Alderman Florian.
Sorry.
No problem.
I hate when I have a question, but being new to all this, I'm just curious, this is a report we send to the federal government, is that correct?
Yes, HUD, Housing and Urban Development, through the Community Development Block Grants, that's to award cities the different funds to operate. Part of the operation, we must give them a 5-year plan, and then at the end of that 5-year plan, it has to be evaluated. Once it's evaluated, we had to get a credible company to come in and do the evaluation and to make sure that we've met all the goals and objectives, et cetera. And that's what we're doing right here.
So this is the end of the 5-year?
Yes, ma'am. You know, is that right? Hold on, make sure. Am I saying, that's not the end?
Larissa, come up
Larissa,
front.
come on up then.
Sorry.
No, this is how, authorizing how this money will be spent.
18 through the, I thought it was to confirm
That's
that.
how them funds.
It's the end of the program year, April 30th,
Oh,
2019.
program year, okay.
So this is the first year? This is the first year of the 5 years then?
No, this will be the last year.
Oh,
Oh, that's what, all right then.
okay. So it's just 1 year, but it's the end of a 5-year thing, so then we start over again.
Yeah,
next-
we do it every year. We have to report every year what we did during the program year.
So then will we get a report back from them saying
Yes, they give us a
you
report
did
back
well,
after
or?
they took a look at it to see if it is, normally for clarification.
Okay.
That's normally what HUD does, to explain, to be able to explain anything.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sorry.
All right, no problem. Any other questions? Let's do a roll call on that versus the voice. Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye. Motion is passed and carried. Item 8, old business, there being none. Item 9, new business. Motion by Alderman Bolton, second by Alderman Newsom. And the reason we did the two aldermen is because the projects, one of the first project, or the first phase of the project will be in the first ward, the second phase of the project will be in the 5th ward. So motion to approve the allocation of $711,603 in federal home funding to the Waukegan Housing Authority, Borough Development Project. $152,509 from program year 2017, awarded $294,858 from the program year 2018, awarded, and $264,236 from the program year 2019, awarded, conditioned upon the final approval from Lake County and U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Quick note, Lake County approved theirs on 6/11/2019. What did Ray say?
Larissa.
I know, yeah, I'm sorry. Lake County approved this on, excuse me, 1 second, sir. Lake County approved theirs on June 11, 2019 already, correct? It's been approved by Lake County. Are there any questions to the motion?
Mayor, I just wanted to make some comments.
Sure.
I just want to say I'm thankful for the home dollars that's going to this project, because it has been forever a talk about this project being done. And I am thankful for the home dollars going to this project.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Question.
If everybody can take a look right over here to the corner there, these are some preliminary renderings of what it's going to look like, what the finished product is going to look like. Final has not been, the final renders have not been sent to us yet, but these are some initial things that we can go by. So you have any questions, anything? Mr. Chambers from the Waukegan Housing Authority is here. Would you please stand? Adam and, oh, you're gonna hurt, what's the? Sarah, and I talked to her so many. Adam and Sarah, please stand from Bear. They're gonna be leading the project. So this is our beginning phases of this, and I know you're gonna be coming back probably once we get through all the HUD recommendations and finalizations, and with a presentation as to where we're at, where we're going, and what we need to get there. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Larissa, anything to add to that? Okay, all right then.
Mayor, question real fast.
Yeah, Alderman Taylor.
Why are we just kind of hearing about this now? It sounds like the process has been going for a while, but I feel like, for me personally, I would have liked to have known a little bit more about it, and I don't know in what stage we're in with this. It's all new.
Yeah, and it is all new, ma'am, and maybe Is it Adam or Charles want to kind of explain?
Yeah,
Who would be
you want to
best?
come forth, give some comments.
Yeah, it's not that you haven't heard about it, ma'am, it's just part of the process what they have. Go ahead.
As the mayor said earlier, I'm Charles Chambers, Executive Director of the Waukegan Housing Authority. We've been actually working on this project for quite a while, trying to get things in order and together for the project. What's actually happened is, I'm just going to give the general overview, and have Adam step in and talk about some of the more detailed stuff as well. This is my development partner from Bear Development. What actually happened was, we're going to redevelop Barwell Manor Homes. Barwell was built in 1963. The infrastructure's shot. We need a lot of work there. The residents, we're always wanting to give better to our residents. Since I've been the executive director since 2008, we've been trying to push this project through. I was told a long time ago that they've been trying to do this for years, but nothing's ever happened. So we're at a point now where we've met with HUD. We have a lot of things and a lot of decisions that were made by HUD where they're supporting us and pushing this project forward. So we're right in the right position to get it done, but we needed some help from the city. That was the issue for us to get this project completely done. What this is going to do is change the face of the first ward. Everything's going to change there. The residents are so excited. HUD is very excited. We also are working with IDA. IDA is on board. Everyone's on board now, so we're really trying to move this forward. But it took a lot of planning, so we had to really sit down. We've been working on this since 2016, trying to get this pushed through. So now all the parties that were involved are now at the table, and they're excited about it. So it's interesting because a lot of them are pushing me now to get this done. So especially our development partners as well. So I'm pretty excited about it. We'll be able to give the community, the residents, the city something new, something to look forward to as a place to live. And I'm very excited about that. We want to change the face of public housing. So the goal is to make it blend within the city so you don't even know it's public housing. That's our goal.
Questions?
All right,
In 2016, weren't we working with Higbee on, was that part of this project, or it never got off the ground?
Similar
and
idea.
And
that was 2015?
The Higbee project was totally separate from the Housing Authority project.
Okay.
At one point in time, Higbee wanted to partner with the Housing Authority, but that just never materialized. Housing Authority had always had this, they had this concept in mind. When the Higbee project came up, they tried to combine it as a partnership, and it just didn't materialize at that time. Housing Authority has since then kept on with their planning process.
That is correct.
And Bear was always a part of that. The goal was, since when Higbee came in, Housing Authority, you're doing this, well, we're doing it, let's see how can we work together. Unfortunately, those things didn't materialize. So that's why, but the Housing Authority kept going. So it's not that you haven't heard about it, it's just more that they are continuing on from where Higbee wanted to, I think, partner with them. Want to let Adam, want you kind of fill in on your role here? Because everybody has a role here.
So, Adam Temple with Bear Development. We're the development partner of the Housing Authority. So we help housing authorities across the country redevelop public housing assets similar.
I'm sorry, can you speak in the mic?
Yep. So we help housing authorities across the country redevelop their public housing similar to Barwell. As Charles mentioned, we've been working with the Housing Authority for about a year and a half. So the question of why not until now are we hearing about it? It's a lot of planning to tee up financing on the developments. We don't want to bring a project forward until we think that we're confident we have partners in place to be able to push the development forward, rather than coming to you 18 months ago and kind of laying out a plan, and then you wondering where we are for the next 18 months, right? Trying to get something pushed forward. So at this point, we think we can close hopefully before the end of the year, around the end of the year. So we're kind of knocking off the steps. We have 7 or 8 different sources of financing on the transaction. This is one of them that's contemplated. As Charles mentioned, we're also working with HUD. There are IDA funds, which are state funds, and low income housing tax credits are the predominant sources.
Are there county funds too, or?
They're not, no.
Not yet.
Okay. The other question is, how does this affect money that we will have if we're putting it all in this? How does it affect the other projects that CDBG
Okay.
has.
And that's why we would, if you notice, we searched the word in here, and on the agenda it says home dollars. Larissa, why don't you explain what home dollars is versus community development block grant dollars? Thank you.
Okay, so based on the population, we automatically get a portion of home dollars from the federal government because we're a part of a consortium. That's with Lake County, Waukegan, and North Chicago. And because of the population, we get a certain amount of money automatically. So with our funding source, we had 17, we had 18, and then 19 is going to be covered, in which we had not had it earmarked for anything. So this is what we were going to use to be able to do this project. Home funds are very restrictive. The other thing that we would be able to use home fund would be like housing rehab, for example. We have a large part of CDBG in which we already do our housing rehab program. And so we think this would be a good source of funding to be able to use this to be able to spark economic development and affordable housing in the area, in the community.
But this is way past rehab, this particular
Oh, yeah,
project.
absolutely. But with home funds, you can use this to be able to do that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, so, and that's kind of answer your question. It wasn't that, it wasn't a secret. One of the things that we have been somewhat notorious at is presenting an ideal and not following through, particularly on projects such as this. And I'm gonna take this back even further. My 19 years of being an alderman and my 53 years of living on this earth in the city of Waukegan, that southeast side of town was promised 5 or 6 different developments that never materialized. I said to them, we're not going to say anything until we know that it's coming. Why? Don't give people this hope that this big, giant, development is coming and it goes south. They're in the last stages of it. We have an opportunity to be a part of it without taking away from our community development block grant dollars that we have already and we're utilizing to enhance, our community. This is it. And I'm personally looking to do 2020 and 2021 dollars because this is phase 1. Phase 2 is going to be in the 5th ward. Once they get it together, we'll be ready for them. This is how good, solid development goes when you're dealing with so many variables, particularly with public housing, God knows with HUD. This is part of the, I think it's about the 3rd quarter on this step. The 4th quarter is closing. And that's going to be up to them. So, and part of this is they must close with HUD, right? Is that correct, Bob? Yes. So if they don't close with HUD, we come back. But more importantly, there's a timeline to use these dollars. If we don't use these dollars in a certain time period, then it goes back to HUD. And we all know when it goes back, what happens.
It ain't coming again.
It's not coming again. I believe that this is one of the best projects to showcase the need of this community. And with that being said, any other questions? Alderman Florian.
Can you tell us what the project is for the 5th ward? So when that comes up, we don't have the same, where did this come from?
Well, and I don't know if you know, in the 5th ward, we have, I'm about to call them.
Armory.
It's called Armory, I'm about to say Clearview, but it's not Clearview. But it's the Armory Public Housing Unit.
I was wondering if
So
it was
it's,
right along Macquarie there.
it's the same ones, same concept, just a different location. Okay?
Now, one last question.
Yes.
Will this unseat anybody from housing? Like, is it the same number of residents that are going to
Yes.
go? Okay.
And the reason I can answer this question, typically with HUD is what's called 1-for-1.
That's correct.
If you do not have a place for people to go, then they cannot even move on the project. Is that pretty, am I on point on that one?
That's correct.
Why don't you explain that in
Okay, it's
detail?
called a 1-for-1 replacement, and also they have a right of return. It's a requirement by HUD. So if a family's already in there and they're lease compliant, that family will be able to move back. They have the first right of return. So if they're, let's say that we were going to move them off-site, which we're not planning to do in this project, but if they had to move off-site, they would get a letter that states that they have a right to come back. They can elect at that point not to come back. And if they're in a very nice place where they want to stay, they could. But they do have the first right of return. So that's kind of how it's set up.
And if we need something, an example, the same project is going on 14th Street in Dugdale with the Lake County Housing Authority.
Right.
Same type of concept, just a different location. All right?
Mayor, so if I could add to that, or reiterate the fact that let's squash the rumor that these people are going to be displaced. They will not be displaced because they have a plan.
And I think part of their plan is that they will even, from a construction standpoint, you'll be able to stay, and then once the new ones are constructed, move over. That's the goal now. That's the goal. But hey, we've been waiting for this opportunity. And let's face it, everybody, these are not coming from general fund dollars, city dollars, obligated. These are funds that have been given to us by the federal government to do the very thing that we're doing now. Let's get it done. We're ready. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Larissa. It's an awesome project and idea from our Community Development Block Grant and the Waukegan Housing Authority in Bear. Any other questions to the motion?
No.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Alderman Turner. Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye. All right. Item 9. Motion by...
We just did 9.
What we're doing?
10.
I mean, sorry, item 10. Item 10. Motion by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Rivera, to adopt and present an ordinance creating a Class E liquor license for Win-Win Restaurant Bar, Inc., located at 30 North Genesee Street, Waukegan, Illinois, 60085. Any questions to the motion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsom.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton. Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Abstain.
Motion passed and carried. Motion by Alderman Rivera, second by Alderman Florian, to adopt as presented an ordinance creating a Class E license for Great Lakes Burger and Bourbon located at 1508 Washington Street, Waukegan, Illinois. Any questions to the motion?
Yes, question.
Alderman Taylor.
How close is this to a school? I'm
It's
trying
the
to-
old Miggy, so it fits.
It
There was
fits
a
in-
bar there before.
Okay.
Which one?
It's the old Miggy Smalls.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. All right, any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Newsom.
Nay.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Rivera.
Aye.
Alderman Florian.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Bolton.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Abstain.
Motion passed and carried. Closing items. No.
Alderman.
No, we
Motion to
didn't.
adjourn.
Alderman's time.
Alderman's time.
Okay.
Alderman Newsom.
Pass.
Alderman Turner.
Yeah, thank you very much. Excuse me. So in the 6th Ward, a couple of things I want to talk about. I have another alley cleanup that we're doing in the 1300 block of Jackson Street, west of Jackson, and the T alley that is north of Glen Flora, runs between Jackson and Walnut. That's tentatively scheduled for Thursday this week. General cleanliness in the ward, we're doing a great job out there. I want to thank Mike Hewitt, Pat Needham, Tori, and Damon in particular, as well as the entire Public Works team. Quite often, residents make me aware of some issue in the ward that needs to be addressed, and I get a call or a note over to Mike or Pat, and they are really stepping up the game and picking up, a lot of items that are being illegally dumped, and they're doing it, on the fly, and I really appreciate the effort of your team, Mike. Thank you very much. I've got another dumpster for our Operation Clean Sweep, and that dumpster deployment is going to be on August 17th at North School, right on Franklin Street in front of North School. It's a Saturday morning between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. Again, that dumpster is for items that will be going into a landfill, but there will also be 2 city trucks provided for other items that are not biodegradable, such as appliances and metal items and such. So if you in doubt, give me a call or just bring it and we'll figure out how we're going to get rid of it. I want to also recognize our new code compliance officer in the 6th Ward, Mr. Joshua Nickerson. Josh came on board and was assigned to the 6th Ward on May 23rd. Since that time, he's written approximately 200 notice of violations in the 6th Ward and about 15 to 20 citations. So a notice of violation simply says, hey, there's a problem, you need to address it, please take care of it. If that doesn't happen, then it could lead to, and often does lead to, a citation wherein there's a penalty for non-compliance, right? So 200 notices of violations. These are not new problems. Some of them are new problems, but most of them are problems that have existed for some time, which is why I wanted to bring Josh in, have new eyes out in the ward, new perspective, and he and I are working very closely together. We're joined at the hip. We talk almost every day, and I often ride with Josh, so we're identifying a number of issues in the 6th Ward, and you're beginning to see a change in some of these issues being addressed. Also want to make note of the Neighborhood Watch organizational meetings that are being held in the 6th Ward. I attended a couple recently, and just want to encourage our neighbors to engage with the neighborhood policing unit to create the neighborhood watches, and you can also reach out to me, of course. And finally, something that we've been talking about has come up here tonight, was mentioned, and we've gone around and around with that that's the distance requirements for gaming and liquor licenses. And what I'd like to do is make a motion to have our corporation council draft an ordinance to repeal our ordinance that stipulates distances and regulates those distances for liquor licenses and gaming machines within the city of Waukegan. So that's my motion.
There is a motion on the floor to have corporate counsel
Draft an ordinance.
probably revise an ordinance, revise the current ordinance. Tell you what, let's do this. Let's put it in Community Development Committee, and we'll have something to present in the Community Development Committee to the aldermen the next time they meet. Okay? We put in, because I don't know, can we take action on?
Yeah. We got a motion.
On a motion, of course, you can. It doesn't make a final determination of anything. It just
can be-
simply determines what will
So
happen.
there's a motion on the floor. There's a motion on the floor by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Mozio, to repeal the 1,500 feet.
To draft an ordinance.
To draft an ordinance.
for Council's consideration.
To do that, let's put it in the Community Development Committee first, that ordinance. Put it in there,
Yeah, we can
and we'll
do that.
flush it out from there and see where it goes.
Okay.
It may pass, it may fail, we don't know.
Correct.
But I like the mayor's suggestion, but Alderman Turner wants a motion, we'll go that way too, doesn't matter to me.
Well, I'm making a motion to have the councilor draft the ordinance, and then once he's drafted that ordinance, it will come back to us for a vote on that ordinance.
There might not be any discussion, it's gonna be yes or no.
We'll have time for
Instead of
discussion.
going into committee.
Instead of going to committee where you could
In
get more
committee, you can
discussion
discuss.
and get things flushed out, but
And the
if you want,
community can have a say-so.
Yeah.
if you want a yes or no, then
Yeah, it's probably best from a transparency standpoint.
Yeah.
Let's put it in a
I'm
committee.
good.
So we'll make sure that's in committee, and then we will.
I withdraw my motion then, right?
You still make the
It's fine,
motion.
you still
to
make
put
the
it in
motion.
there.
Motion's
still
still
do,
there.
just
So-
the way we handle it will be different.
Yeah, that's all. Motion's still there.
Good enough, thank you.
Okay. All right, so we'll make sure we get that in there. You got that down, Bob?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Okay, Alderman Rivera?
Yes, thank you. I would like to make a statement regarding the last meeting I attended in a vote that I took part in. The city of Waukegan approved a lease for the brewery opening at the location formerly housing Urban Edge Gallery on Clayton Street on November 2018, knowing that they would be applying for a liquor license. When that application was submitted, the city discovered the Clayton Street location violated the city ordinance for liquor sales within 400 feet of a church, in this case located 228 County Street. In order to honor the lease and void any legal action, Mayor Cunningham presented an entertainment district that would lower the distance to 100 feet. This is a state requirement for liquor sales within places of worship, schools, etc. It was stressed that this was the only alternative to avoid legal action towards the city. I changed my vote to protect the city from legal action and honor the commitments already made to the brewery. I would like to clarify, I do not support additional gaming in Waukegan. The negative impacts to our society in general outweigh any short-term financial gains from such a venture. And going forward, I hope to work with the city to fully vet future projects to avoid legal conflicts, such as the one that occurred with the brewery. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Florian.
Thank you, David. Thank you for that statement, Felix. I wanted to say I attended both the fireworks and Saturday Night Scoop, and as was stated earlier, both events were awesome. Thank you so much, Jane and David, for all the hard work that you guys do putting this stuff together. Police department, fire department, all the city employees that made these events possible. I even had guests with me from out of the country for our fireworks, and they were extremely impressed. They were excellent. I love to see our downtown, our beach, our city shine, so thank you for that. I wanted to address the suggestion earlier that there be created an environmental justice committee. Mayor, you told me that you like to make committee assignments based on what people want to do. I volunteered to be the chairman for that committee if you put it together.
Alderman Taylor.
I just want to remind residents that I'm seeing a lot of trees onto the sidewalks that, tree limbs that are hanging from your property. It is your responsibility to trim those back so that people can use the sidewalks. Please do so because, people walk dogs. I don't want anybody hurt. So please take action on that. Next, I want to say to Ninth Ward residents, I've had no requests for block parties. Block parties are a really great way to get to know your neighbors. It's as the community changes, so please get your block party requests in. There is a neighborhood watch community forming again. They've been kind of stagnant for a couple of years, but because of recent burglaries, they will be meeting again on Tuesday, July 23rd. If you're interested, please give me a call. I also had the opportunity last week to attend a program with United Way. And I'm hoping that they will come and do a program at our library. It's called A Day in the Life of Poverty. It was outstanding. It actually broke a lot of the ideas that we think we have on what it takes or what a low-income family is and how much it really costs to just have a no-frills existence in today's world. And I think many people would be surprised that number for a family of 4 is a lot higher than they think. And I really hope that we can get that at our library and it educates us that really what we typically think of as middle class is really now low income. So I'm going to work with our director at the library and see if we can get that going because I think it's very educational for all of us. Thank you.
Alderman Bolton.
Yes, I just want to thank the residents of the First Ward for supporting today's first project, Operation Clean Sweep. And I want to thank Public Works and all those that work to make that, help that project happen. Also want to say the Scoop the Loop was my first time participating in that on Friday. Got a chance to be in the parade. And I just want to thank our police, our fire department, and everyone that serves our city. Thank you.
Alderman Seager.
Pass.
Alderman Moiseo.
Pass.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Pass.
Motion by Alderman Mozio, second by Alderman Taylor to adjourn. All those in favor? Motion's passed and carried. Somebody's supposed to say no for the record.